Hey guys, welcome to episode 10 again. Unfortunately, I recorded an episode 10 already and there was a problem with the audio, so I'm having to redo it. But unfortunately, I can't really turn back the all the work that I did in the last episode, which you won't see now. But I can talk you through it now. What you missed out. Hopefully you can hear me, because the problem was with the audio. There was no audio. Basically, I got around to finally making my exact crafter. I didn't really explain what this is about. I do have a spotlight on it, so the recipe for that, just in case you're wondering, is right here. So that's what I made that finally. I went and did a little bit of mining, and I actually changed over my turtle. So I no longer have this the diamond pickaxe turtle over on the tree farm. I actually used a disk and a disk drive to transfer the program over onto a dedicated tree felling turtle, which we have there. Now, I haven't done any more with the programming yet on that. I also swapped the chest out here for a barrel, and that was pretty much it. There wasn't a lot else that I did. It was quite a short episode, so I guess if any episode is gonna mess up, then a short one would be the best one to do. As for what we're going to do today, hopefully that's yes, it's going to run on. What we're going to do today is I really should reprogram that, shouldn't I? What I'll do is we'll put this charcoal to use, and build some kind of industrial craft power. Now, initially, that's just going to be generators. We can run our generators off this charcoal. Eventually, we'll turn that into something else. But at least for now, we can use this charcoal for that. The dog is still stuck up on the roof. Fantastic, I've crashed. Okay, sorry about that, we're back, and I think I was just saying I was going to set up a little area for generators and some IC2 power, and as I've just restarted the server, I'm going to have to what? Really? That's okay. So apparently he's lost his chopping axe as well. Oh, fantastic. Okay, I've just had to think about how we're going to deal with this, and I guess, and you won't see me doing this very often, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cheat in a pickaxe, a green sapphire axe. That's what we were using on there, and we're going to fix that. And fortunately our programs were saved, so let's pop this guy down here. In fact, even the wood that he had has gone, so he must have had quite a lot of wood in there, and that's all gone too. If I just put that there, that's going to let the program work. Now I should be able to come and show you the disk. Now I've made a disk and a disk drive, so I should be able to get the program back into him perfectly fine. So there's our disk, floppy disk, which I labelled Lumberjack the last time, and we have a disk drive as well. So I actually get to show you how we set this up. But yeah, I won't often cheat things in. The only time I will be when it's a bug or a crash has caused some kind of loss that's unintended. So I think I can put that there like that. Let's have a quick look. If we type ls, we can see the disk. So if we change directory cd into the disk and then list ls the directories and programs that are in there, we have chop and fuel. So what we can do is, let's go back up to the top, we can copy disk / chop to chop and copy disk / fuel to fuel, like so. Now if we have a look, we have, apart from the disk, we now have chop and fuel on the turtle. So that solves that. Let's grab our floppy disk back and we'll grab our disk drive too. Or maybe we won't. Maybe our disk drive is just going to... Where's our disk drive gone? Really? What? Okay. Something's... Did it go down there? How? I guess maybe it just got picked up by the transposer. That would explain it. That would explain it. Anyway, we've got our disk drive back. What do I think of that? Now, if we type fuel, current fuel level is 0. Actually, let's or was it label git? Label git. So no computer labels. So label set. Let's call this guy the Lumberjack. Fantastic. And what we'll do is although we had fuel in there, we'll just reset this to refuel all. Okay, so he's got a nice new stack of fuel in there, and I think in order to get this to work, we actually needed to have a single sapling in slot 16, and there we go. We can set it chop in. Right, and we can get back to what we were doing before, and at least that gave you the opportunity to see the disk being used. Okay, so I think the very first thing we need to do is make some kind of power storage for IC2. Or actually, do I want to create some more space? No, I think I'll make I will make some power storage. So we'll do that, then we'll get some generators going, and then I think we'll be almost at the point where we're going to be outgrowing this little room here. I perhaps want to use this going forward as some kind of either workshop or storage room. Not entirely sure yet. Storage room could be, yeah, storage might sound good. So let's have a look at making a couple of generators and a battery box. Now, to start with, we're going to do the generators, and actually, let me show you this this exact crafter, because this is quite cool. So as you can see there, we've got the ability to just pull out furnaces. So we painted on a ghost recipe into the crafting grid. Now what I can do is I can click on one of those ticks, and then I've written that recipe onto that recipe chip. And if I arrow down, I can clear the recipe out of the middle. So now I can just pull out. Let's just go with. Should we go with three generators to start with. On top of that, I'm going to need to grab some. Now, the other thing that you can do before I do that, because we want a battery, we want an RE battery, which is one of these guys here. Now, if I click the question mark, now I'm in the interface for this, it's going to paint it into there, as you might expect. But what you can also do is just click the tick and write that straight onto a recipe chip, which is really quite handy as well. Now the other thing that we're going to want is we're going to want copper cable, and we're going to want copper cable for our basically for our batteries, and also for the battery box. There we go, I said it. Now the issue that we've got at the moment is that we don't actually have any rubber collected, so that could be a problem. And I think that is pretty much the main things that we need to make sure we can make. So let's see if I actually have any rubber. I can't remember. I play so many different worlds at the moment, I can't remember if I've got rubber or not, and I'm thinking that I don't. So let's make a tree tap. Actually, let's make 2 tree taps, and we can go off in the morning in search of rubber. And I know there's lots of rubber trees nearby, so it shouldn't be an issue. Oh, we have an angry zombie with lapis armor on. And I think because he's got a helmet on, he's not burning up during the day. He's just gonna trample all my crops. God, just so mean. Right, yeah, there's a skeleton over there. There's plenty of rubber trees over here. So yeah, sadly I've been plagued with technical difficulties, as you can see. Still ongoing, not entirely sure why, but hopefully we'll have them sorted out soon. I'm really annoyed that my mic died, and actually you know exactly what's going to happen. This mic is going to not work as well, just to spite me. Okay, so I'm just going to grab as much of this resin as possible off of these trees, so that we can get a decent number of copper cables made. But it looks like I seem to have found the rubber trees with the fewest resin spots on them somehow. I don't quite know how that works, but that's my luck for you. Oh, there's one. Fortunately there's plenty of trees, so we should be okay. Once I get myself an extractor set up, which will come as soon as we got the power going, we'll be able to actually get some rubber out of the wood as well. There really isn't any resin on these trees, is there? let me just carry on doing this. I'm going to go around a bunch of trees and see how much resin I can find, and I will meet you back at the little base when I'm done. So, see you in a second. And I'm not quite back at the base, but I'll come across this little plant here while I was on my travels, and it's obviously not been textured by the Sortex guys, which makes me think it's not actually extra biomes. So I'm beginning to think this might be useful food. So I thought I would start the recording again just so you guys can find out what it is. And that looks like the new blueberries. Okay, so we have blueberries. So I'll nom on those. It doesn't give any buff. Some of the fruits actually give you a buff. That one doesn't. But if you see those little plants, that's food in the making. And I will go off and do some more rubber collecting, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, we're on our way back home now. I've just broken my first tree tap, and I've got a grand total of 28 sticky resins, and I've got a couple of trees as well. We won't worry too much about the trees. We'll maybe grow some of those later on. So we can shove those in here, and in the meantime, until we get set up properly, we'll just get our sticky resin cooked up, and let's just take the whole stack of charcoal. Yeah, we'll get our sticky resin cooked up, and we can get making our generators, and actually the battery box as well, because we're going to want to make one of those. So let's grab our copper, because copper is going to be a key ingredient. And I think we've already got our redstone in here. We're also going to need some tin, so let's grab a stack of tin. Now I want to make 3 furnaces, so we are actually going to need some refined iron as well. And actually this is where I'm not going to have the furnace space for it. Let's just use one of these briefly. Let's throw this furnace down quickly, just so that we can get some refined iron. And in actual fact, we only need 9 refined iron. Yep, I think that should do it. So we've already got a couple of different silvers here. This is going to be something that is going to start getting annoying later on as we start using different methods of processing ore. We've got a couple of different leads as well. So I may want to get a forged lexicon at some point to deal with that. In the meantime, we've got a little bit of rubber to get going with. Now this is going to give us, it's only going to give us 2 of those. The other thing that we're going to need here is, it's actually going to be a, actually do I need any circuits? I probably don't right now. So let's just have a look at the bat box, the lovely bat box. I don't make these very often, so the recipe is very easy to forget, for me anyway. So as you can see, we've got we need 3 batteries, so we can use our exact crafter to pull out 3 batteries, put them in there, and for some reason that's now not going to work. That should work. We have batteries. That's the wrong. Okay, take them out, bang that in. That's very strange. I wonder why that is. For some reason has the wrong item ID. Okay. So for the battery box, the exact crafter doesn't work so well. You need to change it out. these RE batteries actually behave quite strangely in quite a few situations. Okay, so we'll pull out a battery box. Now we want to clear this recipe out, and as this recipe is not going to work for us, if we hold shift we can actually delete that off of that recipe chip and leave it blank again, so we can reuse that recipe chip. We don't have to be stuck with that one. And what are we going to want to put on there? Well, we might want to put on our completed generator. So let's okay, yes, this is because we're sorting, this is seeing the item tooltips as well, but the generator is there. So the recipe we're going to be using is going to be this one here. So we're going to use a battery on top of 3 refined iron and an iron furnace. That just means that we're having to cook less iron, because that is 8 iron, but it's 8 refined iron. This is only 3 and 5 normal iron. So we're going to use that recipe there, and we will write that into that. So let's clear that off, and we're actually going to want an iron furnace. So let's grab our iron furnace recipe, and we can paint that in there. We're going to use this one here, because it only uses 5 iron. Let's grab some iron there, throw that in the table, and as soon as we're done with this, which we are now, we can throw this furnace in there as well, and we can pull out 3 iron furnaces, and we're going to want 3 batteries to go with that, except that recipe's broken as well. So let's clear that out. I wonder if we need to delete that recipe and probably set this up manually as well. Again, the battery's causing a problem. Let's write that on there, and we can pull out 3 generators. So we have 3 generators and a battery box, and we also got a little bit of copper cable. So let's see what damage we can do with that. Now, initially what I'm probably going to do is convert some of this stuff here into the electric versions. Let's pull this crafting table out and drop it there. So we'll have a wall here that is basically going to have our machines on it. So what I'll do is come out the back of here and probably just run some power straight into there. Now all our charcoal at the moment is over there, so I'm going to need to do something as far as flattening this area out here, and maybe getting rid of this water as well. So let's see how much let's give you an idea of what I'm thinking. Now I'm conscious of the fact that this is only going to be a temporary, actually, as it is only going to be temporary, let's see if we can place this round the right way. Now the spot on this is the output, so by doing that I'm basically running the power straight into the back of that iron furnace, which is the one that I'm going to upgrade to an electric furnace. So let's just throw down some power or some cable there so that we can set our generators on top, like so. Now actually that's probably not such a good idea. Now normally you wouldn't want to just break industrial craft stuff like that with a pickaxe, but as these are base machines, the generator is only ever going to break down into another generator, so we're quite okay to do this. Okay, so what we want to do now is supply the charcoal into these generators somehow, and rather than messing around with this, I'm just going to use some tubes for that. But first of all, let's get in, sleep through the night, and I'll see if I can get enough materials together to make some tubes. Oh, there we go. So tubes we're going to need to make in the alloy furnace here, and we are going to need, we've got some copper and some tin. That's going to give us some brass, as long as I feed it charcoal. So while that's doing, let's try and sort out our inventory a little bit, because we're getting a little, or I'm getting a little bit swamped under. Now we have a squid tentacle here, and that's well, you might guess that's from squids. That's something that useful food adds, and we can use that to make some sandwiches and things like that. You can cook it up and eat it as well, if that's your thing. Okay, well, we might need this tree tab later on if I want to make an electric one, so making 2 is not the end of the world. Oh, should I manage that? 16 brass ingots, that should do it. Have I got glass? Do we still have glass left? Something tells me no. Oh, we do have some glass. So let's hopefully have enough here. 32 plus that was 33. Now I'm just wondering whether or not you can actually take stuff out of barrels okay with red power stuff. I'm gonna try anyway, and we'll see what kind of results we get. Let's have enough of that. It's fine. We've got plenty now. I'm sure 33 is gonna reach. So let's get ourselves another filter. So actually, while we've got that running, let's cook up another red dough wafer, because we're going to need that for the filter. And what else do we want? We want some cobble, which we can grab there, and some planks. Do I have planks? Let's grab some of that redwood. We can make ourselves, assuming I get some iron and some redstone, get ourselves a bit of a piston going, and actually we're also going to need some gold for this as well. Well, we're really light on resources. That might be one of the things I decide to try and get sorted out at some point. Main issue I've got at the moment is time, and having episodes that get messed up doesn't help at all. So we will just, I'll do as much as I can, guys, and get as much of this done as possible. Okay, I've got 4 red alloy wire. That's not a huge amount. I do have a spare timer. Let's take that just in case. I think that's all we need for now, and we'll see if we can get this set up. Okay, so underneath this barrel is where we want to put our filter, and this filter is actually going to need a a pulse on it in order to do its thing, which we have a timer over there that would actually work quite well for this. I just need to make sure it's turning the right way. There we go. So I can now run this way. I'm thinking though that it's not actually gonna go far enough, so gonna have to do something with that. Need another piece. It's always the way. You never have enough. Okay, so I'm just gonna run this straight over there, and I'm gonna do that by punching dirt because that's just the way I do it. I could go and make a shovel, but I won't. I'll just stop the video while I get this tube laid, because I'm sure you don't need to see that. And we'll see you in a second. Okay, we're back. Yep, we're back, and just going to cover this up here. So we just finished setting that up, and let's close this off as well, just so that I don't end up falling into any holes that I don't want to fall into. And we've got that basically going in underneath the generators over here, which I should really have so you can see the front. There we go. Now, in theory, all I need to get this to work is a little bit more redstone. Or, in actual fact, as I don't have enough redstone, let's just throw another timer down here, and we'll make this quite a long delay. Doesn't need to pulse all that often, but it would be nice to have it pulse every now and then, because these aren't going to burn to a whole stack in a hurry. So that's 2 gone. The next pulse should fill up the next generator, and then basically what will happen is it will send a stack out, and it will top them up and then go back with whatever's left and get back stuffed in the filter. But meanwhile, these are generating enough, quite a lot of power actually, filling up that back box quite quickly. So we're going to have plenty of power to convert that into, or to be able to run that as an electric furnace instead of an iron furnace. So let's go and do that quickly. We can get that guy swapped over, or upgraded should I say. We have a bit more rubber in there. Let's take him off, and we need to get rid of that recipe, probably get rid of that recipe too, and we want the electric furnace, so we'll paint that onto that one there. Now we have an iron furnace, we have some redstone, so all we need is an electronic circuit, and our electronic circuit is, we're actually going to need to cook up some more iron for, aren't we? Oh, I didn't think of that, did I? I'm actually going to need to place that iron furnace back down again. Let's grab a piece of iron, and we just need enough to get that cooked up. Hopefully two sticks is going to be enough. There we go, 1 refined iron. Let's throw that in there, and what we want is, what did I do with my, did I use up? I must have used it all up. Let's grab our copper again then. Copper in there, rubber in there. We'll grab copper cables. We want a couple of redstone and our refined iron. gives us our electronic circuit, which is going to allow us to then pull out the electric furnace. There we go. Pop that down, and we now have very easy way of cooking up our stuff. And I'll just cook up some cobblestone just to demonstrate that it's working fine. There we go, our first IC2 machine. My gosh. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I apologise for all the mess up with today's video earlier on. I'm going to try and get this released on the same day, so hopefully that will lessen the blow a little bit. The world download should be in the description below, and that'll be the world save as of the start of this episode, not the end, because this is effectively episode 11, although it's going out as episode 10. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time, hopefully, if things don't go wrong and I break stuff.